as 2019 comes up, as we're getting closer to 2019, I don't want to see a campaign or 2019 campaign that will just be mundane as other campaigns have been. We should elevate it to this kind of conversation that we're having, that if government says this, does it add up? And I hope I'll be able to do that subsequently on the show as we move towards the campaign.
Very important.
Very
important.
Promises kept, promises not kept.
You know, Nancy, every government like to bandy with figures. Which is very dangerous.
And perhaps because
this administration talked about ease of doing business, 24 steps. When Transparency International came and said, look, you've fallen 12 points. You said, no, somebody must have engineered it. Some people, they want. So it should not be whatever is not favorable. Oh, somebody is politically motivated. Whatever is good, oh, you hand it. You hand it. No. I know it's a work in progress. I know there are challenges. And like Obasanjo said, we voted you in because we know there are challenges. We knew that things are not the way they should be. That's why we all lined up in sun and in rain to say we want a change. And 3 years down the line, we shouldn't be having those excuses. Throwing figures, one thing that is very disheartening for me is the job losses and lack of employment opportunities under this administration. You know, under the Empower, they claimed they were going to do 500,000. Only 200,000 out of those 500,000 are so far being engaged. 1 year to the end of this administration.
How many of those people are protesting for non-payment of their...
Let's leave the issue of protest.
No, but they are being paid.
They are being paid 30,000.
Because a few of the Empower people even came to me last week, before I was away out of Abuja, to complain to me that, and I asked them, I don't know them, they just came, they wanted me to solve one problem or the other for them. And I asked them, did they pay you your 30,000? They said yes. But their problem was that the devices that they are to be given. And I think AMAC should take note if they are watching. In fact, I will call out their names tomorrow. My team should remind me that the devices they give to them to aid them, because they are NNAJI, those in the agricultural sector, the devices are kept in, let me say, MTN office here in Abuja, and they are not giving it to them to help them do their businesses. That they've cried to the Empower people, the focal person here in Abuja says is not answering them. So there are also challenges.
Exactly. You know, for me, the social intervention scheme or program of the administration, if actually sufficient resources have been released into that sector, I think by now we should be talking of 100%. Whether it's conditional cash transfer or Empower, or you are talking of loans to artisanal loans and all of that. Because those are what affects the grassroots people, ordinary people on the street. But you find out that, okay, 500 billion 2016 budget, and it was rolled over into 2017 budget, and we are talking of only 175 billion released. So at what point do you intend to release all that to be able to impact? Because this is the selling point. You know, we say something about USP, unique selling point. This is what this administration has been telling the world.
And ambitious social investment program in Nigeria's history. That's the Vice President's definition.
So that's what they've been
robust and ambitious social investment program in Nigeria's history.
Why would the president not see to it that funds are released as should be? So much so that, because this is what really impacts on the life of an average Nigerian. Then when you talk about creating the enabling environment for economy to thrive, yes, in Lagos, Kano, and a few other places, the ease of doing business is a bit better. But it hasn't gone around the country. Is it same in Port Harcourt? Is it same in Bayelsa? Is it same in other parts of the country? So we need to see a lot of scaling up. I'm yet to see the commissioning of projects, infrastructure. And Bigge just came to tell us they need to invest in human capital development, particularly education and health. What is the investment portfolio in those sectors? The entire Africa, if you look at my column in the Punch of today, where I was talking about universal health coverage, the entire Africa met in Abuja and said 15% of our budget, national budget, should be devoted to health funding. In Nigeria today, our health funding is still hovering between 5 to 9%. It's not up to 10.
Then our education is not
our education is worse of UNESCO.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, this is human capital development. And then when you don't create the needed, okay, what is the interest rate?
14%.
What is the interest rate on loan? Interest rate on savings is very low. Interest rate on loan is still double digit. At the end of the day, to access loan, even as a private entrepreneur, is still a huge challenge. Yes, the board of the Bank of Industry is trying its level best, but has it been able to perform optimally? I would say no. So these are the things that will, on the general scale, will have really scored this administration very high. If I have been able, of course, I understand CBN when it says we cannot bring down the interest rates. They have retained the MPC at 14%, NPR at 14%, because they said, well, you can't bring down the interest rate.
More than inflation.
More than the inflation. And so all of that, how does it affect you and I? We want food on our table. We want our graduates to be able to secure jobs and be able to take care of their parents in old age. That is not happening on a wide scale yet. Only very few graduates. Look, on the average, we have conservative estimate, maybe about 500,000 graduates every year. What is the percentage of that are getting employment, gainful employment? I'm not saying riding keke napep and okada, as politicians will give them. That is not gainful, that's underemployment. Yeah. And that's what we are now adding up to say we have 12 million jobs. Like my brother here said, are you counting farm hands, laborers who are daily paid, who gets like 2,000 or 3,000? Can we say that is a gainful employment according to international best practice? No. So there is a lot to still be done by this administration. Of course, I'm not saying they are not making effort. Diversification of the economy.
But did their efforts meet the expectations of Nigeria?